Hi, and welcome to Tarot Time, where we give you a weekly forecast and energy update for what's happening in your life as well as the world around you. So, if you're watching this as a video, I'll give the live people just a minute or two to get on, and we're going to jump right in. What we do is I may talk a little bit about current events, but then we do a meditation card from the tarot that's appropriate for the energies of the week, and then a 3-card spread. Then I've got like 6 or 7 other divination decks. So the idea is to use multiple resources to receive information and guidance from spirit. So happy Sunday morning. Let's see who's on live today. We need this to be sure. Otherwise, I may read and pronounce your name wrong. But anyway, hey, Judy, Chris, Judy again, and Millie and Meryl, welcome. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Mr. Floyd Universe. Hi, Josh. Heading to the mountains today. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm heading to see my family later, which is nice. You know, my son lives in Massachusetts, and his mom lives in Rhode Island, so they're visiting New York, so I get to visit later. It's a little bit gray and cloudy. We were going to go apple picking. We'll see how that evolves. Anyway, hi, Stacy. Who else am I missing? Hi, Yvonne. I think we said hi to Millie already. Hi, Michael. All right. It's kind of a slow, sleepy Sunday morning. Now, there's a lot that's going to be happening these next couple of weeks. So heads up, either from no electricity in Kentucky. I'm so sorry to hear. Lots of prayers to the southeast, to Florida. And you know, that's not the only place in the world that's been affected by adverse and challenging weather. And yeah, there were rooftop rescues in Western Carolinas. So there's extreme flooding in some areas, and I think this is what I was seeing before September, when I did the September psychic forecast and saw people stranded on roofs. So I think that I think I said Texas and the Southeast. Texas had its share of flooding certainly in September, but nothing like what we saw from the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. So lots of prayers to you guys. Hi, Carla. Hi, Felicia. Tennessee's in flooding also. Then thank you, Judy, for that. Yeah, so lots going on. You know, we continue to see more chains closing, more restaurants closing down. They're still saying that we have a strong economy, but a lot of businesses are still shutting down, and a lot of people are out of work and unable to find jobs. So that's been really, you know, a trend. And what was I going to say? Yeah, we've talked about this, you know, last spring and summer. We talked about the coming, at that time, the coming collective quantum leap of humanity in August, and that happened, and everything's different energetically now. And then we talked about September being the collective grieving or mourning, because when there's an energetic leap like that, it's like we leave the old behind and then we miss the old. You know, we're not the same as a collective as we used to be, but we don't know where we're going yet. So we're kind of left in that sort of in-between state of, you know, not necessarily knowing who we are or what we are or where we're going and stuff like that. Well, October is going to be very different, and on Tuesday we're going to do the psychic forecast for the month of October. That's October 1st. Wednesday we'll do channeling for the new moon solar eclipse, so that's going to be coming up to help us to get our energy set into these higher frequencies, so it becomes a benefit, because it's all awakening. Even though change is challenging and the old has to die in order for new growth to spring up, it's a beautiful time. And it's not doom and gloom, but it's challenge basically, and people are going to go through a lot. They've been going through a lot already. So that's why being in the heart, being in conscious community, supporting one another, why that's so important, because we're heading to a really beautiful time in humanity, but the old is just not letting go easily on a collective level and on a personal level. It's just part of the human survival instinct. Difficulties letting go, the subconscious sees familiarity as survival. So if something's unfamiliar and new, the subconscious, our survival instinct, doesn't understand that and feels that the survival is threatened, and we tend to resist change as a result. It's part of our human programming, basically. It's not bad, it's not good, it just is. But as conscious spiritual beings, our job is to really be spiritual warriors and to be able to by the way, warriorship is about honor and strength and courage, not about war. So I just want to make that clear, because there's some conjecture on some of my social media about that term. And that's what we really need during these times, because we need that courage, we need that strength to see this through and to come into our next and higher level of our awakening, both personally as well as a society. So that's what I have as a little bit of discussion before we go on to the tarot stuff. So people that, the new people that just came in, hi Yummy, hi Jody, hi Anna, Roseanne, Carla, happy birthday. So anybody else have a birthday this week besides me and Carla? Happy birthday to us. So yes, we'll have a lot to talk about in the October energy update and psychic forecast. A lot's going to be going down, we'll put it that way. And again, it's not doom and gloom. There's no fear. None of that stuff is relevant here. We're here to empower. Fear is disempowering. Or fear mongering, I should say, is disempowering. Fear itself is just an emotion. It's just a survival instinct. But fear mongering is disempowering. So we do not do that around here. Hello, Janice. Hello. And Claire. Hi, also. We're trying to catch up with the new people coming in. So we're going to do your birthday's on the 6th here next week. So Libra power. By the way, October 6th is a date that was highlighted. I'll talk more about that on Tuesday, because I don't know what it means, but I think there's either going to be some big news or some big change right around October 6th. For whatever reason, we'll see. But sometimes Spirit just gives me dates, and I don't know why. But usually something big happens around that date. So it's like when I do mediumship and I pick up on a date from the spirit world. Like I can get June 27th when the spirit's coming in, and I'll tell people I can be one day off. So if you get that, it could be June 26th, 27th, or 28th. And I'd say 7 or 8 times out of 10, my clients will understand that it's an important birthday or an anniversary or something like that. We'll see. I mean, 6, I'm born on the 24th, which is a 6 in numerology. So that's the karmic path number in numerology. And 6 is really about service and family. So it's a nice energy. It just shows that you're the part of your karmic growth, and karma is part of our spiritual growth, understanding the relationship between cause and effect in a physical world. So it's not negative or anything. But part of our karmic mission is to serve, basically serve to be served. I mean, we're doing that, aren't we? All the 6s that have 6 karmic paths, or 6 light path numbers. We're doing that. Millet is of the 5th. Oh, cool. 5th is the healer. It's healing and change. Number 5, Mercury guide in numerology. All right, so we're going to do our meditation card. I was just talking, mixing the cards up. For some reason, they popped the number 23 in my mind. That's also a version of the number 5, incidentally. 5 is often about change, too. 5 is a number of change. It's also a number of freedom. So it's a karmic path number. Freedom is very important to the 5s. Anybody born on the 5th, 14th, or the 23rd day of a month, or the 32nd day of a month. Oh, wait a second. All right. Clearing mind. So when we're thinking, we're not connecting, and when we're connecting, we're not thinking. So I need to stop thinking. Spirit Guide. And this is what Spirit Guide to the card of mystery and initiation. Feminine or women's mysteries also could be part of this energy. 1111, let's make a wish. Hi, Anna Lily. Okay, you have a middle name too. All right, safe travels to Josh. Yes, thank you. So, who's the high priestess? Well, this will be part of this week's meditation. This can also be about duality. It's number 2, and I don't think you can see. No, you can't see the numbers, but it's number 2 in the major arcana. So it's about duality. That's part of physical reality, that all opposites seek to find their balance, because they're in spiritual essence, all opposites are really one and the same. They're two sides of the same whole, basically. So we shouldn't. A lot of times I find that spiritually minded people kind of shun the whole notion of duality. But we've got to embrace all the stuff if we're ever to transcend it, if we're ever to release and transcend. So let's embrace the duality. There's night, there's dark, there's active, there's passive, male, there's female, right? There's left, this is my left, although I think it's in reverse screen on StreamYard. This is my right. But if I step 5 feet to my left, then what was left was once right. So it's the same. It's just our perspective. Our personal perspective is what creates the phenomena of opposites, basically. So if we change our perspective, that changes the whole dynamic of duality. So for meditating with tarot cards, what I recommend, like any other meditation, you get very relaxed, very present, tune into your breath, let the thoughts go. Then this is the Morgan Greer deck. If you have your own tarot cards, pull the High Priestess and visualize that even before you go into the meditation. Then in your mind, when you feel very relaxed, see the card, and that's like a doorway that opens. Step through the door, and as soon as you step into the energy of the card, just gauge your energy. You have to be present. You can't be thinking, because then you're going to not be able to fully appreciate the subtle energetic shift as you step into the card. So if you're fully present, you'll feel something, and you may get other psychic sensory input. Like you may get psychic imagery, like clairvoyance or psychic sense or hearing thing. You may meet this being, this high priestess, that has important messages for you. It's a time of change. It's a time to step into our power. We're all priests and priestesses in our own right. So understand and know that. And there may be other beings, other spirits, other guides, spirit animals. She's holding a scroll, and some of the tarot books that I've read in the past, they say she's holding the Torah, which is ancient Jewish mysticism, basically. It may be something else. It looks like a Coptic cross on her heart to throat chakra, basically. She's got the crescent moon, the Isis moon, on her crown, basically, on her third eye, and it's pointing upwards. So the moon's receiving, like the moon is mystical energy. It's subconscious and spiritual and psychic energy. So since it's curved up, it's like a vessel that she's receiving this information from spirit, from the divine, and being able to plan her life and her next activity and the next phase of change in her life based on what she's receiving spiritually also. So this is a really beautiful energy. It's very mystical. It's very powerful. Also, the high priestess can expose things like illusions, delusions, and things like, what's the right word? I need some water. Deception, that's the word. Can expose that. Sometimes it's self-deception based on our programming, that we deceive ourselves. Sometimes it's through others. So as a card meaning, something that's deceptive in your life may be getting exposed this week also. So anyway, so that's our meditation card. Yeah, we are. Thank you. So often I will flash comments just because we're a community and we like to share. Oh, hello. That's not the one that I meant to flash. Hello. Great group of people. That's what I meant to flash. We are a great group of people, and that's because of you. I'm just one person in this community. Thank you for that. And if you hit the like button, it helps YouTube to recognize that this is shareable content. Hello, Nicole. And very good. Oh, okay. See, I knew there was something. Looking so what Felicia's saying looks like the moon or eclipse under her feet. Yeah, so she's actually that's a good pickup that she's actually standing on the crescent moon, which is bigger and broader, which is her foundation, and she's got the smaller crescent moon on her third eye and crown. So again, it's kind of bringing that spiritual knowledge and making it, something real. At least that's my interpretation. If you guys have other interpretations, that's what community's about. It's about sharing. Nobody has all the answers. We are all various different pieces of a puzzle. We're all parts of a whole, right? So, um, and then interesting, moon is currently 9% waning crescent right now. Yeah, and it's in Virgo right now also. So it's in that healing sign of Virgo. And then tomorrow, I don't know what time, tomorrow it's going to move into Libra. I think probably later in the day because it's mid-afternoon at 10 degrees Libra is when the eclipse is. So the transition into Libra's got to be later afternoon, evening. Just happy birthday, Millie, and all the birthdays. Happy birthday, yes. All right, so thank you for that, for reiterating that and adding to what I was saying. We appreciate that very, very much. Yes, Mara, we do need healing, and practice that heart brain coherence. I haven't done the video yet, but I'm going to make a little short about that when I'm done here, and start to talk a little bit more about the heart brain coherence practice as we move forward. Because I still believe that's going to be the next viral spiritual practice, or a viral spiritual practice, I should say. It's all based on ancient teaching, ancient wisdom. What did Jesus or Yeshua said? To live with compassion. What did the Buddha say? To live with compassion. Now we have some science to prove that living in gratitude and compassion is really, really, really good for you and really good for our society. So we're going to talk more about that as we go on. So let's do a 3-card spread. So again, we may pick up on things going on in your life personally and our community at large and what's going on in the big wide world around us. I'm seeing banks in my mind as I'm talking. I think there's going to be some meetings of maybe some of the financial, like the global financial networks. I've been reading things online. Of course, people will gravitate towards what they want to hear very often in the social media realm. But the assertion of that the U.S. is in a strong economy now and that the rest of the world is kind of taking our lead or whatever. And like, yeah, well, if they're taking our lead and we're in record debt to the point of how many trillions, 10 trillion dollars in debt to who, God knows. But it's just, again, sort of that programming, that re-solidifying that we are a debt-based economy, that the whole paradigm is owing money, not assets, but what we owe. Now, so again, it's like lack-based. That's slack-based thinking, that everything's about debt, from the liens on our houses if we have mortgages, to what we owe on our credit cards, and stuff like that. So it's just a whole paradigm of thinking. When that paradigm changes, things in the world change also. And it starts with us, starts with you and me, to create a new energy and a new outlook and a new paradigm of thinking and believing, because belief is very powerful also. And that starts to change things. So, and things move on. I mean, there can always be lending, there can always be debt, but that does not have to be the central focal point of the economy, basically. So anyway, that said, according to whoever, we're in a strong economy right now. Watch out around the 10th or so, because I think there's going to be another hit with the stock market or commodities or stuff like that. It's just a process. The market goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's just part of the process. But as more and more things happen and more companies close and more investments tank while new investments surge, we learn and grow and we evolve into a new economy that's going to actually support the people rather than take from the people. So that could change the whole structure of like taxation, all of that stuff. Because as evolution continues, the it becomes more and more apparent how unfair the systems are in this world, and how the great masses, like the great majority, suffers as a result of that, and a minute few benefit from it. So there's that. And MDR saying there are always fluctuations. Absolutely. I'm blindly inspired. There is an asteroid. Yeah, they're calling it the second moon, but the way the asteroid and the Earth line up, it's going to just take a couple of orbits around the Earth before it moves on. So anyway, we'll have a tiny little second moon, maybe the size of a large house, circulating for a time. That happens from time to time. Interesting stuff. I've always been fascinated with astronomy, with stars, and I think that's part of being a starseed. Yeah, I don't know if we can see with the naked eye. Yeah. So we have this comment followed by this comment. I've heard different reports on that. Some say, you may be able, if you're in the right place, there's no light, you may be able to see it, but it's probably just going to look like a very faint, fuzzy star if you can see it with the naked eye. Telescopes, you can see it. So anyway, back to like the Little Prince. Yes, I love the Little Prince. Thank you for that. And if you never read that as a child, even as a grown up, that's worth reading that one. Absolutely. Oh, okay. So that's the confirmation from Blindly Inspired that you need a telescope. She's saying, and Jennifer saying, thanks, Laura. It must be all that our high vibe energy that's sucked it into our. Yeah, I mean, but that does, yeah, that does happen from time to time. I think in the 90s or 80s, something similar happened. And we can credit our high vibes and our changing vibrations. The asteroids, they're like messengers from the Earth. It's said now, based on advances in science, that asteroids are responsible for there being oxygen on this planet and for there being life on this planet. So we need these. We're all connected. We're connected to the cosmos. So we need these input from the cosmos to sustain or to create what we have in this physical world, basically. Can't be seen. Love the Little Prince. And Lisa saying, watch something by Joseph E. Anthony, astrologer. I think about that, and I believe he said was called the Betelgeuse. Is that Betelgeuse? I'll have to check out Joseph Anthony. He's good then, huh? And Blind is just a nice bit of universe magic to focus on instead of all the big BS. Good point. All right, let me clear my mind so we can do our 3 card thing. 1, 2, and 3. And back to the clipboard because I couldn't really work that other device that I was using. Okay, so right away, a couple things pop up in my mind. One, not to be surprised if you find yourself helping more people than usual or helping somebody in particular, basically. The star card reverse in the middle, I'll hold this a little bit distant just because if I hold it too close, believe it or not, the YouTube algorithm may flag this video for nudity because you can see the breasts here because it's a tarot card. It's not porn. But in any event, the star card reverse makes me feel like no matter what happens, try to come back into your heart, come back to that place of hope and optimism, and understand that everything that happens for a reason, and everything is balancing everything else. We had a horrible hurricane recently, terrible devastation or whatever, but without the hurricanes, the we wouldn't be able to survive on this planet because they balance the intense heat in the equators with the intense cold in the poles. So these big storms are moving a lot of air and balancing, the world's climate. So it's a necessary, I don't even want to say evil, but a necessary thing. I'll put it that way. Yeah, the King of Swords leading into this week, as an energy, it's fine to teach or even preach as long as you practice what you preach. I do a lot of preaching myself on social media or whatever, but I never preach anything that I don't practice myself and that I haven't had any personal experience with. So not perfect, of course, and that there will be times when I fall off the wagon like anybody else, but once I realize what's happening and I get back into my higher vibes, then it's a lesson, it's a learning process, it's a growth process. This could also be the emergence of well, a couple of things. In politics, I think there's going to be a lot of vocal, well, what else is new, a lot of vocal people, but I think they're really, really trying to ramp up the whole like Harris campaign, basically, and having kind of these older Democrats really trying to speak up and to rally and stuff like that. I think there's a really big truth movement. As I said again in my September forecast, so there's no tangible evidence that this ever came true. But I still believe it's true that there'd be a big wave of peace starting to um what's the right word, starting to wash over the planet, basically. I think it's something more in the collective, but I think there's more organizations, there's more movement towards that. The King of Swords can be very intelligent, can be very much a diplomat also, but again, could be a fighter if that's what's called for and that's what's necessary. So we don't want that, but sometimes we have to defend ourselves, our homes, and our families also, because there's a lot of negative programming out there and stuff like that. So the best advice is always to be in the heart, to stay in the eye of the storm, to not allow yourself to get triggered by others or what's going on out there. And if somebody hits a trigger point, step back and observe yourself being triggered. Observe the emotions that come up. And when that happens to me, I'm observing my emotions. I'm observing what's happening in my body. That my heart may beat faster. My hands may get damp. Whatever the physiological things are going on. I want to step back and observe that. I don't want to try to suppress it, because I want to be aware of my subconscious programming, not try to suppress it. If I have any unhealed traumas, I want to be aware of that. I want to see how my responses to the world and how I'm triggered, how it activates certain things that I may still be healing, basically. And we're all in this process. This is a community that I started, obviously, but it's our community, and those that will gravitate are working through similar things and have similar aspirations that I would have. That's why we're connected and gravitate towards each other. So this is really the time, guided self-observation. That's really the foundation, in my belief, of spiritual evolution and growth. It's being able to observe ourselves and observe the environment. So don't try to suppress what you're feeling. You'll have better luck trying to suppress a freight train going 70 miles an hour with your hand stuck out. Ain't gonna happen until you reach a certain level. Then you've attained mastery. So we're on the road to attaining mastery over ourselves, right? That's part of spiritual growth and awakening as well. So it just starts by not being in denial, but being in awareness. So step back and observe, and then whatever negative emotions come up, they'll pass more quickly. You'll be more knowledgeable, more empowered, and you'll be like, aha, so this set me off. There's a reason for that. And then you start to go within and start to understand more of the shadow aspects. And they're not shadows once you're aware of that. Your awareness is a light. Light cancels out shadows, right? The metaphor that I always use here is, if you shine a light on a shadow, it ceases to be a shadow, it gets integrated into the light. So our light is our awareness. So again, nothing to fear, embrace the dark side, integrate it into the light, and the dark side becomes a source of power, basically, not a source of detriment. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. This Five of Pentacles, although it can represent kind of being left out in the cold, sometimes it represents things, not too positive on a financial level. But what I'm seeing is the woman. She may be like a priestess or a nun or whatever, kind of hugging and comforting the figure. The bandages on the head means psychic wounding, basically, energetic or psychic wounds. So it's a time of healing also. This is a good week to step back, to continue to not let everything, bother you. And if it does, be aware of that. But really to step up your healing. You deserve to be healthier. There's on every single level where it's like the air, the water, the microplastics, and the outside programming trying to get us afraid and angry and guilty and fighting each other, so that basically we don't get anything done. And those unfair systems and those in power, remain in power, and those unfair systems remain in place. So you transcend all that with the heart through awareness. So it's really a time of healing, and I think there's still an energy of collective healing. Yeah, and then what we come into, and this is a little bit of a sneak preview for Tuesday's October forecast, is we come into the next wave of awakening, of human awakening, and it's going to be, if the last waves were normal ocean waves, this is going to be a tidal wave. So I think between October through the end of the year and beyond, a lot of people are going to be awakening. A lot is going to change. Obviously, the elections are going to be messy. I'll talk more about that again on Tuesday, but I would not be surprised if somebody pulled out of the race. You feel, and people in New York City, there's a lot of scandals being exposed there. There's, the P. Diddy scandals. So all this is coming to the surface. It's been suppressed and it's been coming out in drips and drabs, but the filter is almost like the dam is going to give way. So the dam's been leaking, the metaphorically speaking, and drips and drabs have been penetrating into the mainstream media, which is where what the masses look at and read. And I think that dam's going to burst, and I think it's going to really be starting in October. So let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I immediately kind of went to this comment. Pain is a great teacher. Yeah, that it is. Um, and although the song by the band Spirit is really about pollution in the environment, to me it's a parody on pain. And the song is it's nature's way. So the line is it's nature's way of telling you that something's wrong. Uh, is lack. Oh, thank you. Exactly. Let's purge this lack mentality. Exactly. It's programming. We're abundant beings, from the 15 trillion cells in our body to the trillions of dollars that are being printed or created every month, every year. Basically, there is no lack. It's only our thinking. It's only our programming. That's the only lack that's real. Um, people would debate this. Say, well, if I don't have a home and I don't have a job, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of been a process, like a cascading effect of the negative programming. And Oprah Winfrey is a good example, but there's many examples. Those one in a million that were born into extreme poverty that you would think would not have a chance in this world, but somehow they figured it out and rose to prominence. We can all do that. We can all turn it around. So think outside the box. We're coming to this Aquarian energy. Pluto in November, early November, is going to be in Aquarius for good. Well, for 20 years anyways. This is the Aquarian age. This is the think outside the box time, because the box just doesn't work anymore. We're evolving too much to be limited by our thinking and our programming. So anyway, if you want to get to heaven, you got to raise a little hell, right? Walk through hell with a smile. Yeah. No fire and brimstone gonna stop me. So let's move on. I've got other fun things to do today. I'm feeling very much Native American in my vibe. So I've got my Native American card. I've got my medicine cards for animal totem. Coming up to that season of giving. So when we are able to give with our heart, we blend more with spirit. One of the true foundations or the cruxes of the heart brain coherence is that gratitude, that understanding that gratitude really a frequency, because we feel grateful when we receive something amazing. The more amazing we receive, the more grateful we are. But God's spirit or source is the ultimate giver. So we're matching the frequency of the ultimate giver. There's nothing complicated. Everything's super simple in spirituality and energy. We make it complicated. It's really that simple. And there's a frequency you tap into. You'll feel it in your body. You'll feel it in your brain. You'll feel it in your energy. When you really tap into heart-brain coherence, everything changes. It starts by being so present that you transcend your identification with your human self. And by doing that, you blend with the quantum field, because we're all always part of the quantum field, the realm of spirit. We're just hyper focused on our physical lives right now. So you can become very present. You start to transcend that, and then you start to blend more with the field. And if you feel really, really grateful and you have a goal, something you want to create, you send a really powerful signal. This, according to Joe Dispenza and others, to the field. And then if you keep doing the practice over time, the synchronicities line up, you start to create the reality that you choose, basically. What else are we saying? That she's figured something out. Jennifer walked through hell, and no, they didn't. They started hurting others for their own gain. That's MDR's. And I'll tell you something. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'll tell you something about Jody. For her to be saying this is a real testament to strength, basically, because some people here are truly going through a hell experience in their lives. So thank you for that comment. Also, very inspiring. And I'm inspired to saying 20 years of pushing, pulling, exposing, and weird and wonderful children. Interesting time. They need losses. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that. Good reminder. All right. I need to clear my mind. There. And then I went right to a card. See what it's everything changed when you came around. Chief of Vessels. That would be the King of Cups, I believe, in the regular tarot. You know what? When I'm seeing this card, is he's in his canoe, he's going down the rapids. He's not looking at the water. He's kind of looking at more to the side than in front. It's kind of like, to me, it's an act of trust. He knows that the flow of the water is going to take him to safety. That's my interpretation. You may have your own of the energy of this card. Your water is like life. It's emotions. It's the flow. And when we say we canoe or we kayak, like I watch people kayaking because the creek that's right across the street from my house is like 100 yards away. I'm very blessed. I watch the kayakers, and it's a class 5 rapids, I think, or something like that, in parts of the Esopus Creek. But they're going with the flow, but they're using their oars. They're influencing the flow. They're not just going with the flow, but they're creating influence with the flow. So the flow influences us, and we influence the flow. There's no separation. And he just feels like he's very comfortable flowing down that river. And cups or vessels is about water. So mastery of emotions, because that's part of the flow. Again, what I was saying before, you don't master emotion by trying to suppress them. You embrace them. Even the hard, nasty, negative, brutal ones, you embrace them. And then that's how you transcend it. To quote the famous Bruce Lee, which I quote all the time around here, his quote, which I believe comes from J. Krishnamurti, the very well-known Indian philosopher around the turn of the 20th century, they'd go with the disease, embrace the disease, befriend with the disease, walk with the disease. That's how you will rid yourself of the disease. I'm paraphrasing. That's not the exact quote, but you understand the essence. It's not resisting it, because then you don't know. It's embracing it. And then you understand there is a purpose. Nothing's random in the universe. Everything's related. There's something in chaos theory of quantum physics called the butterfly effect. Some of you have heard that. And it just states, if a butterfly flaps its wing, it creates a breeze that can be felt all around the world. If you're right next to the butterfly, you might feel it. If you're in China, you won't feel it, but it still has an effect on everything. So basically, your energy is going to affect more things that are local to you, a lot more than things that are going on in China, but you're still part of this flow. You're still part of this process, this wholeness, this oneness. So anyway, I think that makes sense. Mini Aussie. I'm just looking here. Thank you. I think this is a good comment to post. Also, don't be sorry. I mean, my take on that, if you need to apologize because you realize you did something that wasn't good or harmful for someone, by all means, apologize from your heart, but don't hold on to the guilt and shame, and don't be an apologist, is sort of my take on it, because that means that you're a people pleaser. Trust me, I've had many decades of experiences of that one, which means that you're diminishing your power. You're saying no to yourself by saying yes to the other person, basically. So I think, I think that's kind of what you're trying to say, MDR, basically. All right. So I have other thing. We're coming up to eclipse. Let's do the moonology. Aussie dog. and Millie saying, no fear, you're always divinely guided and protected. Yeah, hey, Michael, for protection. Very powerful intention we're working with. An MDR saying, no, it wasn't. Okay, well, that's my take anyway. If I do something that caused suffering to another person due to my negligence or my unawareness or whatever, yes, I'm going to apologize to that person, but I'm not going to be an apologist. Anyhow, that's all the time, just in a fear state. So it takes time. Reprogramming takes time, and fear is such a powerful energy because it's our survival instinct. You cannot will fear away. You have to reprogram. Heart-brain coherence over time will do that. But they want us. The powers that be, want us in the fear state. That's the issue. That's the problem. Fear is a survival instinct. It keeps. If a tiger's chasing me and I feel fear and 8 different hormones fire in my body, I might survive that attack. But that shouldn't happen when I open my news feed. Put it that way. I shouldn't have the same reaction that I would have if a tiger's chasing me. That is a perverse programming of the survival instinct. What does programming do? It hijacks the emotions. Emotions drive everything in human behavior. What we feel drives everything in how we see things, what our belief system is, how we treat others, how we treat ourselves. Must reprogram in order to transcend and to really be effective new earth leaders when there's so much pressure against it, basically. That's why spiritual warriorship. I'm fortunate that I got trained in that at a young age. Yeah, good. Watching comedy is great. I was just watching some old All in the Family clips the other day when I was in a bit of a foul mood, and just watching the interactions between Archie and Edith and Archie and Michael. It's just like that show is still, even though it's way outdated, it's still funny as heck. Okay, so this is what the point MDR is. I'm saying I learned from adversity. People apologize to me for it. you, but just saying it doesn't control me. Oh, that makes a lot of sense to me. Thank you for clarifying that. I agree. And love and gratitude are helping navigate. Thank you. That there you have. Yeah, no, heart brain coherence is just simply a standardized practice, which I actually I do a variation on that based upon other things that I've learned. It's just a way to be in the vibration of gratitude and compassion and caring and love. And that's what makes a heart coherent. And when the heart's coherent, everything in our bodies as well as our minds works a lot better. And that's all it is. So anyhow, it's an interesting comment. And hi, I don't know if we've seen you chemo before, but fear simply not mistaking the rope for good analogy. Dr. Dyer says it well. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Right. You know, if I had my glasses here, they look like kind of like this to me, right? But if I move 90 degrees, then they look like that to me. So I've changed my perspective, and what I perceive about these glasses change as a result, right? So that's the medicine wheel teachings, by the way, and other teachings also. All right, I see this is going to be a long one. Moonology cards for the new moon solar eclipse coming up. Here we go. I landed. My hand landed on the right card. This is the gibbous moon. So this I believe is the gibbous moon is when it's right before full, or maybe also right after. But I think this is right before the full moon, like 3 or 4 days before. You're very close to achieving your goals. So remember that. Especially if you felt a little bit down, or if things have gone hard, or you felt a lot of resistance. Remember, you're still very close to achieving your goal on a lot of different levels. So that's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for that also. So we appreciate you, Chemo. Thanks for being here. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Coming to that full moon energy when the moon is bright and vibrant. So we're really coming to the new moon now, but that's a good message for us. Remember that we are close. Me and you, we're close. Good day for a crystal healing, because we're actually in the dark of the moon. We're in the final stages of the waning moon right now. All right, so I have the Isis Oracle deck on deck here. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a message from Egyptian mysteries now. I love these divination decks. By the way, Millie, thank you for the Moonology deck. Josh of Mr. Floyd's, not Mr. Floyd's channel, Mr. Floyd's Universe channel. Thank you for this gift as well. The more I use these, the more I love them, by the way. And what we have here is the Mother of Life. What a good card. And it's a big Ankh on the top. Ankh is a symbol of life, right? And nourishment of the golden grain mother of life. I got this one yesterday too. I mean, my hand went right to it, but perhaps I should mix the cards better. People say, no, it's just the same message. Although it's a different card, but the same message. Okay, they remind you it's actually a different card we got. Very good. So have I set things that up? Yes, Sloan said he wins the race. Thank you, Chris, for that. Chris also has a YouTube channel where he does crystal bowl, alchemy singing bowl meditations and resets for us. So thank you for that. Millie's very, very much gives us that nature vibe, which is lovely. And Mr. Floyd does his channeling work. And there's a couple of others that have channels. I can't think about that. So this is time for nourishment, basically spiritual nourishment. What I'm seeing here is maybe more meditation around this time, more quiet time, and do things that are spiritually nourishing for you. If it's a walk in the woods, going to the beach, doing some long deep breathing, some yoga, qigong. Yeah, I think it's a reminder to do that. That again, this is like life, and it's like on the wings of Isis, so to speak. Also, and it just shows that a lot of us that are watching this, that are part of this community, are really upgrading their energy fields and really starting to gain more insights and everything. I feel like the Spirit's saying it's time for a feast for no reason other than to celebrate life and to celebrate what you've overcome so far and what you've learned and how you've grown, and that you're becoming more and more aware of the spiritual support that always exists around us to help us through our challenges, because we learn and grow through challenge, or what you guys were saying, through pain more than anything else. And that we have a bonus card today: magic and ritual, practice sacred craft. So magic here, with a K, that sort of denotes a different methodology of using energy or law of attraction to manifest your reality. That a lot of it involves like ancient ceremonies and practices and stuff like that. So maybe light a candle. Right around the new moon is a great time for manifestation, to plant your seeds. So I think they're saying, to plant your seeds so that you may receive the nourishment of the golden gray mother. Millie does automatic writing now. I have a feeling that started either a little before or a little after the retreat. Thank you. So Millie will share her automatic writing with us, as she does. All good forms of channeling. All right. I have Kyle Gray. Is this Angels and Ancestors, or is this my other deck? Be nice if I knew what deck I was using, right? Well, it's one of Kyle Gray's decks. It is Angels and Ancestors. I do have the right name. I'm missing a few of your comments. All right. And I'm not catching all of your comments. Oh yeah, so we did a Sekhmet, a lines initiation with Sekhmet right before the lines, or during the early part of the Lionsgate portal, and the 40 days have passed, so the energy has been set. So it's interesting to see what you guys who were there, what changes you're making in your life, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing a few of you kind of stepping up more and channeling more and stuff like that. So it was very good. That's a very, very, for the artists out there, very profound. Very profound. Okay, so here we are. So this card is the Sun. So this is the Angels and Ancestors deck. Enjoy success and happiness. So there's a theme about success and happiness now. Your earthly success is important, by the way. It's not counter to spirituality. They're two parts of the same energy. So it's fine to seek happiness. There's a reason why we're drawn to happy things, because it brings us closer to spirit. It's a vibration. Everything's a frequency. So enjoy success and happiness. Set that intention that you're worthy, you deserve it, and enjoy the success in your life. Because there's a lot of challenge also. So sometimes it's like what we choose to place our focus on. Energy flows where attention goes, is what we create in our lives also, basically. Or influence the creation of our lives, might be more accurate. I second that emotion. Yeah, me too. Me too. And you all are welcome. And I thank Spirit for prodding me to overcome my fears of scrutiny and being a public figure and all that kind of stuff, to be able to do this. So all Spirit in the end. Spirit gets all praise in the end. Frequency of the week from the Sacred Geometry Activation Oracle deck. So is anybody going to post what's the frequency, Kenneth? I forgot who did that yesterday. It's like, yeah, let's go throw in a little bit of musical references while we're at it. Love when we have those epiphanies, right? Very good. Thank you, Millie, for that. And from me, I think you're a newcomer. It's all love, guys. If we can be comfortable being life instead of thinking about it, bathing the vibration of dying, all we need. Get used to saying whatever life does, it's just enough. I am enough. I am good enough. Thank you. That very, very insightful comments. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are quite amazing, I must say. I'm seeing the Four of Wands in my mind, which is basically, it's stability. It's like it's a positive completion. It's like a marriage. It's success. So, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's not doom and gloom. It's change. Unfortunately, there is a lot of suffering in the world. I feel it. When I feel and it brings me down, I try to open my heart, raise my vibration, send these good vibes, and instead of being brought down by the ways of the world, try to uplift the energies of the world. The more who do it, the easier the transition will be, the less suffering there will be, and the more of a bounty we'll all get to enjoy soon. So anyways, frequency. And what we got is dynamic. That was one of the cards we got yesterday also. And I did mix these cards up. And I pulled from a place where it wasn't like where the cards were bunched together. So this was from spirit, not from lack of mixing cards up. For those of you that were here last night. But that happens a lot, and the energy holds. If that's a frequency for the month, it's a frequency for the week also. And the frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. Great message for us. And you can get the energy of dynamic, key 23 in this deck, by gazing in the middle and just absorbing the sacred geometry and letting that be you, part of you, and you be part of it. We should all be dynamic, right? No apologies for being you, right? Be dynamic, be up there in the forefront. People get jealous. They have the option to work through that jealousy and become inspired by your lead or not, but it's not your problem. So messages through songs and music. I get a lot of messages through songs through MDRS. Love a good sale. I'm just looking at your comments. Very good, very good. I love this cartoon. Like I said, we picked it last night, just a few hours ago when we did our oh my gosh, what did we do last night? It was the new moon forecast, the eclipse forecast. Yeah, that's what we did last night. Yes, I do work a lot. All right. So we've been an hour already. We only have 2 more divination tools to work with to either get new messages or to get reiteration of old ones. So this is the medicine card by Jamie Sams. There was originally 44 different animal totems, all of North America, by the way, to match the number of medicine shields in the Lakota. I think it's a Lakota tradition, but one of the native traditions. But then they added a few more, so we have 50 some odd cards now. But through studying the animals, we understand aspects of our own nature, because each animal is an aspect of our own nature, basically. And sometimes they use another deck that covers the world, but this only covers North American animals. We got the horse. What's horse? Power, right? Horses are power and freedom to me, and beautiful, beautiful animals. And I remember years ago, a friend of mine took me to, her employer who had a horse farm, and there's this gargantuan female horse, no less, named Cosmo. And she's in this big cage, and I'd walk to one end of the cage. Then Cosmo would just follow me and stand right next to me. Then I'd walk to the other end, and the horse would then follow me. And then I just vibed on this horse, and I was like, oh my God, this is such a magnificent, powerful being. I was like in awe, basically, of that experience. So horses, this is a really good sign. There's been a lot of good signs this morning for our community. Be in your power, basically. Everything that we've been saying up until now, with being not a people pleaser, to being in the heart, all this stuff. This is all to bring us into our power, basically, and things like that. Let me flash a few more comments. I just saw because of trauma. One sense helps heal my heart with Daniel. But good. So yeah, wherever you get the messages, Spirit's always trying to point us in the direction of truth, and we'll always speak in our own language. I learned that through mediumship. I read tarot. What do the spirits do? They show me tarot cards. They never read tarot. How do they know to show me those? Because they tune into my energy and give me messages in my own language, because they want to guide us in the direction of our truth. Yeah, I know that Mary is very connected to music, so I'm not surprised. What's this? Hand yellow? Or my hand yellow, heart red, hand yellow, heart red. Okay, I'm not sure. Is that lyrics of a song? Horses are wonderful. Yes, they are. And say, don't identify with the thoughts and most. They are just temporary. In 30 minutes, there's always a chance to feel something different and new. You're not them. You are the witness. Exactly. Horses. We have horses triggers hope, and then we also have I don't know, and I can't even remember your name, which is terrible. But we have somebody else that's very connected to horse. She may have cut out. Energy is their first language. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's an emoji. That's not coming from Anna. Oh, okay. Thank you, Anna. Also, very good. So last but not least, I have the messages from the Angels deck. From Doreen Virtue's former incarnation in the same body. Those of you that know the story know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, thanks, Chemo, for contributing. See, you contribute, people want to know you, right? Always growing, and then we connect with other communities. So we're in the process of creating a world community. We're different satellites of the same whole, right? This card, and so it is. And Adriana is the angel in question here. And the message here is, I'm leading you towards the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps. I am communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And on that note, we are going to finish up. Thank you, Michael, for your comments also, even if I didn't flash them. Well, I'll flash this one because it's kind of funny. Absolutely, Anna. It will never go to waste. It can be used to help others in need too. There you have it. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, everybody. It's hard for me to wrap my brain around the fact that The Sounds of Silence was written in the year 1964. Basically, what an insightful tune. OMG. Still one of my favorite songs. Yeah. Exactly, MDR. Exactly. Yeah. All right. All right. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Thank you, Chris, for that. Be well, everybody. And we are going to end. So not Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday. It's October 1st. October forecast for our 9 numeric month. So that's going to be very interesting with an eclipse to lead it off, no less. Lots is going to come to the surface. Love you guys. Thanks for being